Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Realm of Possibilities podcast. My name is Mike Stone. This is my buddy Sean Romero. We would like to start this week off by saying thank you and how much we appreciate all those who made the ultimate sacrifice protecting our country and our ability to make a crappy podcast.
Yes. So, Mike, why don't you run us through what happened this week on your game?
Oh, Lord have mercy. This game I am doing, this monstrosity I have created is turning into fun. It's fun. It's definitely fun. But it is beginning to go off the rails in a wonderfully cool way.
I wouldn't say it's going off the rails. I mean, it's fun. It's consistent. The storyline's staying pretty consistent.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Man,
Pretty good.
I know I don't do much. But if anybody out there has raised an 18-month-old, my God, even when you're in the best of shape, it is rough.
Yes, it is. So, what shows we'll go through, recap kind of what we did.
So, last week we decided to, we got orders from Lazav, our quote-unquote guild leader at the moment, as we are in an offshoot of Demir House. He informed us that a Gruul raiding party had stolen a very powerful artifact, and we had to go figure out where it was and get it back. Actually, you guys had to go figure out where it was and get it back. And so that's what we did. You guys went to see Krenko, who is a beloved character in Magic and in D&D apparently now.
Yes.
I do love Krenko. I loved playing Krenko. He's quite the little sneaky guy he is.
Well, the interaction was interesting. I mean, the fact that you had us surrounded by an army of goblins kind of fit into his, character.
Well, I mean, one goblin's not doing a lot. 50 goblins are going to do something.
Yes. Well, 18 does really make legacy.
It does.
Yeah. Turn 1.
It does. When you empty the warrens, you just empty the warrens.
Yes, you do. That was an interesting part of the game.
Yeah.
I'll admit, from my character's point of view, I enjoyed the whole interaction. You allowed me to pickpocket walk into the crowd.
Yes.
I do.
Well, I mean, you're playing thieves. You got to be thieves.
Yeah, and I was slightly disappointed in the way that when we came back, you just instantly teleported us back. I didn't get like another reroll walking back to the crowd.
I didn't teleport you back. That was Chris. He used his staff.
That was the end. Actually, Chris didn't. You just said, "Okay, I'm gonna put you guys back in the guild," because I wanted to do another roll at the end.
Oh, okay.
See if I could pick any more pockets because that's my character base.
Okay.
So. I mean, I enjoyed the fact you gave me one.
I will cut down the fast tracking a little more then.
Oh, to an extent.
Yeah.
I was like, I get to actually play my character the way I designed my character.
Yeah.
And I was really excited after I got the first one, and then on the return, it was kind of like
his Luxodon was pickpocketing with his trunk.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was actually kind of cool.
Ruby ring, baby.
I was actually very happy that he actually succeeded on the roll.
Yeah, well, it's what my character's supposed to do. I was extremely happy I got a chance to do that. So, let's move on from, the Krenko interaction was good. We
went from Krenko. There was a little surprise there at the end of Krenko. There was, Lazav was hanging out in that crowd of goblins and you didn't even know it.
No.
That was a little twist. I literally came up with that as we were sitting in the chair.
And it was nice. I mean, it was kind of, our two other players were like, huh?
Yeah, I know they had no clue.
Yeah, it made for a nice, push in the storyline. Okay, so we can't just let today's go through this. We need to go through this.
Yeah, no, Lazav was there. He decided he did not like the information he had heard, considering what the artifact was and who had it.
Yes.
He was not thrilled.
Well, it heightened the sense of urgency, which I enjoyed personally, having a heightened sense of urgency.
Agreed. Could you imagine if the Gruul had an artifact like that in their possession?
No, that was just not fun.
Helm of the Host. Made the artifact myself, decided I'm just going to do something cool and unique, and one of my favorite cards has always been Helm of the Host. So I decided that we're gonna have to go after the Helm of the Host this time around. So that's what I did, and it turned out to be a lot of fun.
It was. I mean, we got there, we got into Gruul territory. First combat scene went kind of quick. I mean, everybody was hitting.
Well, I had a cool combat scene set up for them. They fought a lot of Rebel Belt Raiders.
Yes.
If any of you who play Magic, you know who the Rebel Belt Raiders are. They fought quite a few of those. And then I had a wonderfully nice and nasty Sundering Shaman come out from hiding, and our thief assassin decided to assassinate.
Yeah, I mean, the one-shot kill was disappointing in some aspect. It definitely made that combat scene go a little bit faster than expected.
It made the combat scene go faster than I anticipated, but it was nice to see a weapon that I had created go into such wonderful use.
Yes, and it made our assassin thief character player, he felt vindicated.
Yeah.
He was extremely happy.
Well, he did exactly what he's supposed to do. He assassinated.
Right, and it was good for him.
Yeah.
And I was happy for him. At the same point in time, why didn't you bring the shaman out in the middle of the combat when we were moving through those raiders so fast? Why didn't you just have him pop up and then?
Because that's not how the Sunder Shaman works. He is actually I believe he's lawful neutral.
Mhm.
So he's one of those. He needs a reason to do what he's going to do. And once he realized you killed all the Rebel Belt Raiders and what you were after, that's when he decided to pop up. In all fairness, he wasn't even supposed to die in that combat. He was supposed to just get wounded to the point where he gives up his sword or his axe to Alex, so that Alex had, for one, a weapon that was worth a dang, and two, a way to destroy the helm if need be.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
So I had to kind of fix that one on the fly because Alex just straight up murdered the fool.
well, let's come back to loot in a little bit because I want to talk to you a little bit about loot as we get to the end of the game. But okay, so we got them, and then you had these little Izzy guys pop up, and oh my god, were those pains in the ass!
Izzy guys, he says.
Yeah.
I had him go against the 4 different types of blast seekers that they have in the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, and they were a lot of fun. It's the Flux Blast Seeker, the Galvanic Blast Seeker, the Cosmotronic Blast Seeker, and I can't remember the last one off the top of my head.
He died really quick.
Yeah.
He got our other thief rolled up behind him and did 8
And
points of
backstabbed the
damage.
heck out of him. Yeah, no, it was
crazy.
just fantastic. But those guys, the Flux Blast Seeker, he was tearing y'all up. That, let me tell you, if there's anyone out there aspiring to do to DM a Ravnica campaign, let me tell you, play with the Flux Blast Seeker. He has this cool ability where when he casts a spell, you roll a 6-sided die. If you get a 1, 2, or 3, then he switches spots with any creature he sees within 60 feet. It's ridiculous.
It was interesting in the aspect of the fact that you basically rearranged our combat. Everybody had to scramble.
Yeah,
because
he was all over the field.
Right. As a DM, I was like, oh, wow, that is a very interesting arc because all of a sudden you're moving players around inside, where you need them to be, which was really, really cool because you just jumped around the board. We're chasing you. We're chasing everything else going on. It was really powerful to have that kind of interaction because all of a sudden our assassin's like, do something about this guy. He's bouncing all over the board.
The one I kind of liked was when he teleported into the group of you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got killed and he thunder waved.
That was beautiful.
That was fantastic. It was like, oh, okay, so I killed 2 characters like that.
It's like Draconians all over again. The first time
but he's just a little goblin in some armor.
Yeah, but devastating blast.
They were, I think like 1 or 2 of them wouldn't have been that big a deal, but having 4 different ones, I think, is what really made that particular battle sequence go over the top.
Yeah,
because there was a lot there.
There was, and each one was different. So by the end, we got down to including the last one.
3 of the 4 of them were casters, even.
Right, and we didn't know how we wanted to react. That's the first one blew up. We was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't want to kill them. They kill back.
Exactly. It's like the first time you killed Draconian.
Yeah.
What do you mean he went over? Oh, now he's acid. He's eating my armor. It was a completely different interaction speed, and considering where we came from and from my campaign, having these reintroduced again, similar type characters, was very nice because now I'm the player and I'm like, oh, shit. I gotta figure out. I'll think this situation because as DM, I know what I want. I want you to kill these things.
Yeah, no, same here. I wanted you to kill them because they were gonna go pop.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so how do I get my team to work together.
Man, you're gonna have struggles with that.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
know
you
what
know,
else to tell you on that one. I can't make them dudes do stuff. I mean, I can, but it's gonna be lame.
well, no, but it's like, well, what's speaking of which, let's go down to the final battle. You know,
With Bori Borgmos?
yes,
Yes, that said it. Bori Borgmos.
he was a pain.
He's a beast. He had like 300 and something hit points. They're all level 3.
Yeah, it was a struggle. I mean, granted, the additional backstab damage helped us, but we ended up in the same situation. My teammates, I got tricky. I used one of my patches and dropped him into a 10-foot hole, using him 5 feet above the surface. So
I thought that was
on him.
absolutely slick, by the way.
Thank you.
Absolutely slick.
And I was getting ready to throw my hammer, and then what did my team do? Let's go, I'll jump on him, yeah.
Yeah. So he has the Sun Forger for his cleric.
Yes.
And if any of you guys know what that is, that's a hammer he can throw, and it explodes and deals massive amounts of damage.
66, baby.
The problem is it does it in like a 30-foot radius, and none of the other characters would get off of Bori Borgmos long enough for him to chuck the hammer. They're just like, I'm going to sit right here and do nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, after you got the first one, back off, disappear, do something, disengage.
Yeah.
I mean, with these, we need to do those type of things, and
none of them would disengage. They'd go and make their attack and just stand there.
right, and that was something, you know, we had obviously with me and the team going, okay, guys, we got to pay attention to what we're doing,
Yeah.
because we have to remember what each person's other characters do.
Yes.
You know, which we know. I feel this coming week we should see a little bit more balance in that, because
Did you have a talk with them? I thought I remember.
yes, we did.
Good.
Because I think, you know, the biggest problem we had is, you know, we needed to remember we're a team, and I think that happens a lot of times, especially when you're DMing. I saw it in my game a lot. People start trying to become heroes by
Yes.
themselves, and it's like, okay, well, you've got the team. This team's got 300 hit points. If we're really lucky, really lucky on the dice, we're getting like 86 points of damage.
Yeah.
But how many times we're gonna get that lucky 3 times in a row?
Against armor class 20.
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult combat.
Yeah.
He was well armored. You played him well. The shockwaves made him difficult. He was tough to deal with, especially.
The one thing I liked about him is he had a lot of hit points and he had a high armor class, but he only had 2 attacks and none of them were magical. It was his stomp that did a thunder wave, and then he had his maul, which, if it hit you, knocked you prone.
Right, and that was good because it kept some of our characters off their feet.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I did knock a few prone, but that strength check's a boss, dude. 21. You got to be at 21.
Right, and it was good because it kept certain characters out of the game. It forced us to have to reveal a different combat sequence, which is where, you know, I talked with my team, I'm like, okay, guys, everybody's getting knocked down. We have to do this from a distance, and y'all are charging up there.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be a little bit more thought-provoking when we're doing this, because if we're not doing ourselves any good, but offering up the deity of death, you know.
I personally, had a character, like if I was playing my character from your campaign, where I had the brothers, the one was a caster and the one was a fighter.
Right.
The fighter would have gone in, done his damage, and backed up.
And that's what we need.
And he would have backed off because I wouldn't want to stand toe to toe with Rose.
No, I mean, before I dropped him in a hole, he was tearing us a new one.
He was actually shredding you guys.
He was.
I had 3 knocked prone and 1 dead.
Right. So we had to get creative.
Yeah.
And that's like looking at.
And he was pretty wore down on hit points at that point too. I think he started at 380 and they had worn him down to like 210. And he had knocked 2 prone and killed 1.
Right. And so we know, thank God for clerics. But
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we had to get smart about what we were doing, and it took us a few minutes to get smart.
Yes.
I had to get really creative with what we were doing in order to get stuff done. He was a beast. He was a beast.
Well, he literally is a beast.
Yes.
He's a Minotaur Cyclops. It doesn't get much more beastly than that.
And he was our final boss bomb. He was the end of the night. So
Yes.
here's the question, because I mean, you know, I mean, I know we try to get our sessions done in the designated 3 hours.
Okay.
You know, that's something that you've been pretty dedicated to us about. You know,
I'm trying.
but why did you not have us have additional levels in the temple, like go to a second night?
Because this was all about acquiring the helm, and that was it.
Okay.
that temple was just ruins anyway. That's all the Rebel Belt is ruins. It's just there was nothing in there other than he had, you know, in the pile of the room right there was the gold or whatever that they had been stashing, because they are. It's like I told you at the end of that night when you got back and talked to Lazov, how he's saying something's not right in Ravnica. There are too many offshoots of guilds trying to come together to do something, and that's Borgmos is one of those offshoots, and he was stashing gold just like the guy that you guys fought the first night was. Damn it, who was the first guild that you went after? It was the Golgari. It was Storov.
Storov, yes.
So Storov had his. So him and Borgmos were actually working together. And the way I'm setting it up, I'll give all my players and then him a little insight into what I'm doing. Is I'm having a major character from each guild that is going to be a part of this unholy Ravnica union.
Well, and that's cool because I mean every game is going to have an arch enemy, which is good. So yes. we all know, like in every video game, we're going to have a boss mob we have to beat.
There's going to be somebody at the end that you're going to have to deal with.
At the end of the level. Well, that's good. I mean we've leveled now. We're now level 9.
It goes 9? I thought it was 6.
No.
Holy crap.
Yeah, okay. You gave us a ton of experience for killing him.
He was 22,000.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that level's up pretty
quick.
We were level 6 coming into this game.
I thought you were 3 coming into this
No,
one.
we finished the first night at 3
coming into...
Went to 6.
Okay.
And now we're 9 for the 3 sessions.
3 levels a session. What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, it was tough. I mean, you know, it was hard-earned. I mean,
you guys stuck it out. I mean, you were level 6 characters and you blew out a board Borgmos. That's pretty good, along with a bunch of other stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think, you know, once we get more and more in tune to the teamwork side, this will come a lot better. I mean, I think that's the best part about Dungeons & Dragons is you're sitting with a group of people and you have to create a teamwork type section.
Yeah.
I guess, unfortunately or fortunately in a way, depends on the way you want to look at it, in both of our games, you know, we end up being default party leaders.
Yeah.
And I think that's, of course, our personalities when we're up there. We tend to be like, you need to go this way, you need to go that way.
You know, when we first started your campaign, for one, we had different players.
Yes.
The only original players out of that were me and Alex.
Correct.
Chris came in a couple of weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, and then the other players, they all left for whatever reason. The one dude, the Knight of Solamnia.
Oh, he moved.
Yeah, he actually moved out of town, so I kind of get his gig. And but the other characters just kind of.
Well, they didn't like the fact that we wanted smart players. It was not go up and lick the poison frog.
Yeah, no, I could tell a couple of those cats. They were like, "Oh, D&D, this sounds like fun. Let's play this." Oh, I have to think. Yeah, screw that.
And that was a problem for them because I mean, and we've talked about this. I mean, we've got 25 years of experience, pretty much on average, of every person at the table. When we're talking about teamwork, that seems to be the biggest challenge with a lot of people, especially when you start playing with Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, I hear about these pickup games people are running, and you get these people. We've had it out in our store. You know, we had the one guy I want to jump into your game, and he's playing a wizard, and he wants to stand back to the group, and we're piling in the room, and almost at the door, and just go fireball. Toast everybody. You know.
Rogue casters, I hate them.
And that's the problem. I mean, when you're playing Dungeons & Dragons, you have to be a team. You have to work with quirks. You have to work with different personalities. It's not just, hey, I want to show up and roll dice, because that doesn't always resolve the issues.
Yep.
You know, you end up in situations like I had this last week. It was like, I have the weapon that can do the damage, but I can't throw it unless I want to start sacrificing my characters, other teammates. And the character that has that is the one character whose alignment and purpose within the group is anti-doing that.
See, and that's where when we were in your campaign, my character didn't have that alignment. So, I don't know how many times I told people, back up, I'm going to do this, back up. And then they just got to the point, okay, you're not going to listen? Well, I'm just going to do it anyway. If you die, you die.
It took a couple of them dying to figure that out.
It did take a couple of them dying, and they did figure it out.
Yes, that goes back to the core point of, we've talked about it in the first podcast a little bit. You know, we're again reissuing the same point: is teamwork, communication, thought
Yes.
process. Real life things, guys. Yeah, it's a fantasy role playing game, but you still have to have the same basic skills, which is funny because we play in a group that social skills sometimes are a little bit of a challenge. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. It's not a challenge. Everest is a challenge. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah, well, So going back now, we beat the Gruul.
Yes.
We beat Golgari. We've got a couple more builds left to go.
Yes.
Pretty much, going off a little bit off of that now, because we've had Modern Horizons coming out. More spoilers.
Dude.
Lots
Some good, some very bad.
Yes.
Some very bad. Some very good.
We know we see a lot of the guilds popping up. We saw some Azoria stuff popping up and stuff. But let's talk about the two big cards. The two cards that flash back at us, and
The Phone of Power.
we were kind of shocked that they came out with those. I was. I mean, Urza was headless, and now Urza's back. And Yawgmoth is back. Don't get me wrong, I love Yawgmoth. I had a whole deck, Eon Hub, go over my Yawgmoth, so I could get a voice for that upkeep cost. Enjoyed that deck. It was so much fun. Demons. Yeah.
So, since we're going to transition this way, we're going to talk about Urza first. Because I just like Urza. So I'm going to read this card to you guys. So this is Urza, Lord High Artificer. However you want to say it. I'm from the South, we say things weird. He is a
Mexico.
He is a 1/4 human artificer. When Urza, Lord Artificer, enters the battlefield, create a construct. Okay? If any of y'all don't know what a construct is, go read Karn. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
This creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So it's a construct. It's really cool. He has another ability, tap 5 colorless mana, and that means you can do this right away without tapping them. And shuffle your library, then exile the top card until end of turn. You may play that card without paying its mana cost. That is Temporal Aperture. For those of you who played way back in the day, that is a card called Temporal Aperture. It was awesome. This is it.
Yeah.
It's a really cool card. For those who have played a little less later in life, we call it Mind's Desire, without Storm. You ever played with Mind's Desire?
I had it in a deck, but,
6 mana, exile a top card of your library.
Right.
You may play it without paying its mana cost. And then it had the text of Storm underneath it.
Storm is always fun.
It was the win condition in that standard block for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You just, I'll play 1,000 spells and Mind's Desire you. Exile the whole, your whole deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sucked. It was
Storm
fun.
decks are fun.
Storm decks are fun. I'm a big Ad Nauseam fan myself.
Yes.
So, but there's this other ability on Urza that I'm leaving out that's, I don't know, probably what you call burying the lead. Tap an untapped artifact you control, add a blue.
Yep.
So, Tolarian Academy
Mm-hmm.
in Modern, they are going to break this. I mean, it's not Tolarian Academy, but it's really good. I mean, there are a bunch of 0 and 1 drop artifacts that you can do. And this and that little red goblin guy. Have you seen the little red goblin dude? He's like Stoneforge Welder.
Oh,
Is
yes.
the best way I could call him. He's like half Stoneforge Mystic, half Goblin Welder.
Yes.
Yeah, no, those two are going to be homies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're going to be close.
USA is going to be strong.
Yeah.
A lot of cards in this is going to make USA really, really strong.
Yeah. No, I love me some Urza. I think this card is a lot of fun. I don't play Modern per se, but I can see where this dude gets just ridiculous.
I could see him in Commander. He's going to be ridiculous in Commander.
Whoa. I think this is a really good add to the Were Prison decks in Modern, which are running the card from Kaladesh, the 3-drop with Convoke for artifacts that let you go look for an artifact with converted mana cost of X.
I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
But there's Whir of Invention.
Yes.
It was escaping me. So, but yeah, you've got like the mono blue Word Prison decks that are going to run. All they do is run artifacts, and then they'll run this, and they'll just lock you out. They run like Tangle Wire, or no, the Bridge.
Oh.
Ensnaring Bridge.
Ensnaring Bridge.
So they run.
Ensnaring Bridge is a pain.
Well, and now you
in
can,
Legacy, it's still a pain.
well, now not only can your creatures not attack with Ensnaring Bridge, but with Urza, your bridge taps for blue mana.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got all your Chalice of the Voids that tap for blue mana, and your Lantern of Insights that now tap for blue mana.
You're mana heavy.
You get to do a lot.
And for blue, that's always
Yeah, and then you can, tap 5 of those artifacts, and I'll put this Omniscience into play.
Mm-hmm.
This will be fun. I don't know if it'll be tier 1 or tier 2, or maybe just fringe, but it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, like I said, I know a lot of Commander players. They're super excited for it. Decks are already brewing around it. I can already see that.
Commander is gonna absolutely break this
Right.
this card.
So while he's done doing that, I want to celebrate my card. Yawgmoth has returned. I'm a big Yawgmoth fan. Was way back in the beginning.
He is a big Yawgmoth fan.
Yeah, I have always have been. He's 2/4. Comes in for 2 colorless, 2 black. He's got protection from humans. Yeah. Because protection from other things would have been a little bit better, but playing humans isn't bad.
Considering the actual deck human sucks, it's pretty good.
Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, put a native 1 into a counter on up to 1 target creature, and draw a card. So I can sack something off, weaken or kill something you have, and get to draw a card on it in black.
Yeah.
That's kind of hot. What's even better, I can tap 2 black, discard card, and I can proliferate.
Yeah.
Seems kind of works for me. Yawgmoth, of course, I like him as a demon better. He's a little bit more fun. But, I can see some gameplay with this guy. There's definitely lots of fun coming in with Yawgmoth. So, those are the 2 big ones. Of course, we know we got Flusterstorm coming back.
I think that is a absolutely wonderful print for Modern. I also think getting reprint period is good because, well, I don't know how much it is now, but for a while it was like an $80 card. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's tough. It wrecks some decks in Legacy. It makes some decks really hard in Legacy. It makes it more fun here in Modern. So, have fun, guys.
One I just wanted to bring up while I had it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You remember how much you liked playing Engineered Plague in Legacy?
Yes.
Did you see the Plague Engineer?
Yes.
Engineered Plague on a stick. That's kind of adorable.
Hey, anytime you get Nathan on a stick, it's good. Speaking of, how about Hex Drinker? What do you feel about that card? With the 1 green, you can level it up, and you level up through Hexproof 2 Shroud.
There is already a mono green ramp deck, and I think this card is just going to slot right in there because in ramp, if you draw this late after you've ramped out, it's great because it's going to go instantly to a 6/6 hexproof, or shroud or whatever it is.
It's hexproof in their shroud.
If you get it early and they don't kill it, then it scales with their removal to the point where their removal just doesn't do anything with it anymore. This card is pretty good. I don't know if it's going to be busted, but I think it's going to be pretty good. And it's not just going to be in mono green ramp either. It's going to go in other things.
Well, speaking of other control types, you got the Ranger Captain of Heroes. You can sacrifice him, and your opponent can't cast non-creature spells this turn.
That is just going to piss people off.
It's going to definitely. About the big highlight, Unbound Flourishing. How do you feel about that card right now?
Mini doubling season.
Mm-hmm.
That card is pretty good. I wanted to read it again because I remember I got it right here.
So you gotta find it. Okay.
Scryfall, people. It's awesome. Whenever you cast a permanent spell. Okay, yeah, so I think this might be a better replacement for Hardened Scales in the Hardened Scales deck. I know Hardened Scales only cost 1 mana, and I understand that's a big draw to that deck is that it only costs 1 mana. But maybe this is like the 5th or 6th Hardened Scales in that deck or something, because this and Walking Ballista and Hangerback Walker are stupid.
Yes.
They're absolutely just, even maybe in Mono Green Tron.
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that deck.
Yeah, I mean, with like, I don't know, this and Eldrazi Tron, even with the endless one, the X Eldrazi guy.
Mhm.
He literally just cost X. I think it's endless one or heedless one or something like that. Yeah, he just cost X mana. So this scales with that. Oh man, it's stupid.
No, yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of pluses to this card. I mean, it's going to be broken in Commander. It's going to be extremely broken. I mean, like I said, Commander players have been drooling over this one since it got released.
Yeah, because that just goes right into their doubling season deck.
So let's also touch base on the Force cards. How do you feel about those? You already mentioned that you thought the red card definitely got
Trash, absolute trash. I don't know, Wizards. What? You just hate red? It's like some days I wake up. Well, red's good in standard. Let's just neuter it in modern.
It's Wizards. But I mean, the Force cards basically do what they're supposed to do. They do what they're
They're
supposed
all
to.
alright. They're all alright. The blue one is probably the best one.
Yes, of course. Blue.
The black one is pretty close, and then I think green and white, and then red are just the red one is just terrible.
Oh,
I like Archmage's Charm
yes, Archmage's Charm is a good card.
as I'm sitting here staring at it. I don't know if I screwed up your notes there. But
No, you're fine.
yeah, no, Archmage's Charm is just that's it's counterspell for an additional blue mana. So because counterspell, I think in modern would be bad. Just 2 blue counter a target spell. I think that would be.
I like Counterspell, but I'm a big fan of blue, so.
I like counterspell too. Don't get it twisted. I think counterspell is a wonderful card. I love playing it. Blue mage. Hello. If you see me on Arena, it's Big Daddy Jace.
All blue.
All blue all the time, dude, or Esper, because well, it's got blue in it, and I really liked it. Teferi Time Rattler. The same reason I think counterspell is too powerful in modern is why Mana Leak is too powerful in standard.
Okay.
Having a 2 mana counter spell that in the early part of the game counters anything
Love Mana Leak.
is call freaking blade. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think it tends to warp the game around it, like right now how Thief of Sanity warps the game around it when it's played.
Yes.
It's obnoxious.
Speaking of other obnoxiously fun cards, what about the Queen of the Lung Bears? I was really excited to see that card come out.
I thought that card was, first of all, absolutely adorable. Second of all, from one bear to another, how you doing?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to call yourself that, but that's okay.
I know my crowd, bro. I know my crowd.
We've been in Santa Fe too long. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. No. I don't mind being idolized by the gay community for being a giant bear. It's okay. It's totally okay. Wife's hot, so we're good. Why?
I'm not going to touch that one with a 50-foot pole on either side. Get in trouble with that
Fair enough. I want to talk about this card that I haven't even talked to you about yet.
one. Okay.
And I haven't heard much talk about it on the interwebs either. And it disturbs me a little because I personally think this card is going to redefine an archetype in modern. And that is the Altar of Dimension.
Okay. I'm listening to you.
It is a 2-mana artifact.
All right.
So the casting cost is good.
Okay.
Sacrifice a creature, :
Okay, so we can do it more than once.
and we don't have to tap.
Okay.
Target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power from the top of their library into their graveyard.
Ooh.
Dredge.
Yes.
Dredge. For one, you don't have to have a dredger. The dredger helps, and it
Yes.
turbos out this deck. But you don't have to have a dredger now. Dredge could just rely on 4 of these and do what it's got to do.
Mhm.
Because you sacrifice a prize amalgam, put a bunch of stuff into your library, guess what? You get an Arcomoeba. You get that prize amalgam right back, and guess what? You can sacrifice it again.
Fast and speed.
Dude, Dredge is gonna be like,
Speaking of Dredge, what about the Dredgescape Silver? I mean, now we've always had Earth
Which-
Slivers.
yeah, no, we had that Grixis colored one that
Right.
you and I were talking about.
You know,
But this one's a lot cheaper, monocolored.
1 colorless, 1 black gives everything on Earth.
2 mana, all your slivers got on Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's almost as good as giving all your slivers Cascade.
The first sliver. We're going to touch on that one next. So we'll lead right into that one.
There's my segue.
I mean, okay. We know I have a player who does play Commander Slivers, and I can already hear the drool. I mean, all Slivers having Cascade. All Slivers have that deck is going to be stupid.
You imagine when they get the first sliver on the board, and then they drop like the sliver queen, and then they go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
You just poop out an army of whatever slivers.
And Slivers just poop out Slivers, and you have Slivers that, I mean, then they all have Hexproof, they all have Flying, all have Death Touch, all have
Yeah, because you're going to have your Crystalline
Yeah.
sliver, you're going to have your Wing sliver, you're going to have your Sinew slivers, and
It's going to be
your
stupid.
muscled slivers. And
Speaking of Sinew, we got 2 new swords.
we do have 2 new swords that I just found out a few minutes ago. I haven't been up on spoilers. Spoiler alert, I've been in Colorado.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a chance to look at anything. And then this one comes over in a little bit so we could do this. And yeah, I happen to see that we have a sword of steel and Sinew and steel.
Sinew and Steel.
And then sword of truth and justice.
Right.
So Sinew and steel are Rakdos, and truth and justice are Azorius. The Rakdos one sounds more impactful.
Oh, yes.
Not only protection from black and +2/+2, but
Black
if it
and red.
black and red, but if it deals damage to a player, then they sack a planeswalker.
Get to kill
And-
Planeswalker.
You get to kill a planeswalker and an artifact.
Right.
In Modern, the artifact one counts, especially when you're talking about Urza decks or Tron or Lantern of Insight, Lantern control decks or any mono red prison with all their Chalice of the Voids and crap. I hate Chalice of the Void. I hate that.
Reckon any artifact deck is.
Yeah, no, and so there's a ton of targets for even another sword. So there's tons of targets. But killing a planeswalker, I did combat damage to you, kill your Liliana. Kill your Karn. Kill your Karn, Bytron, kill your Ugin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got Reckon some
Yeah.
things. That's going to be a record.
that's gonna do things and stuff. So I actually think that's really hot. And the truth and justice is whenever it deals combat damage to a player, play +1/+1 counter on a creature and then proliferate. I can see in going against a Colonnade deck, that sword may be pretty nasty. Because what are they doing? They're not blocking it with. I think they can block it with Colonnade because it becomes a blue-white elemental. Yeah, yeah. So they're not blocking you with Colonnade. They're not pathing you. They're not hitting you with Jace. They're not bouncing it with Cryptic. They got a counter coming out, or you are just going to beat their face, and whatever you hit them with is just going to get bigger and bigger. It's just going to get +2 every turn until it just kills them. Blue-white control decks are going to have a problem with that sword, I think.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to bring a balance to it. Sorry, my phone kind of did a hang up there. I had to turn it off for a second.
Don't mind him.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought it was adorable they printed Sisay. I don't think the card's all that great, but they printed Sisay. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
The Captain of the Weatherlight. Anybody who's followed the Weatherlight saga, that's good stuff.
Alright, so it's good. So we have the Red and 6. What do you think about Red and 6?
It's a better 2-mana Planeswalker than Tibble.
It's better than Tybalt. I like the fact that his the emblem, getting retraced on all your instants and sorceries, that's going to be hugely impactful in certain decks.
That's Magical Christmas Land, and I'll agree with you on that.
It's red.
His ultimate is stupid. What really I think makes this card good is the fact that you get instant value from it. That's what makes these cheap Planeswalkers so good. There are a lot of Planeswalkers, and there were a lot of them printed in War of the Spark, that they weren't very good. They're cheap and they're not great. Like, Ashiok is a build-around card. She's not really that good because she mills you for 4 and then exiles your opponent's graveyard. Now, that's kind of good, but it's not great. But it's technically, or that's just going to be a big build-around. This is one of those Planeswalkers that you play it on the battlefield, you +1, you get the land back, you just played. You turn 1, whatever, turn 2, Wooded Foothills, Brennan 6, +1, take my Wooded Foothills back. you've already got value from playing that 2-mana Planeswalker. You know, some of them give you a card back, some don't. Like Liliana the Veil, she's really good Planeswalker.
Mhm.
She doesn't necessarily give you a card back right away, but she will take one.
Card advantage, no matter
Yeah.
what. Magic.
Card
Come on,
Card
roll.
advantage does come in, various ways. Liliana the Last Hope. She can give you cards right away if you have something in your graveyard. Her minus
Right.
ticks down. You plug something back out of the graveyard if you want to.
Right.
So so you want your cheap Planeswalkers to give you card advantage immediately, or to give you something for playing them. That way, it's just not an expended resource. Like sometimes in Standard right now, you play a Teferi Time Raveler, and all you do is +1, which means your instants and sorceries can be cast at flash speed, or your sorceries can be cast at they can be played
Instant
at
speed, yeah,
instant
anytime.
speed. So
Gotcha.
well, when you're tapped out because that was turn 3, who cares?
Right.
You didn't do anything with that card. You paid 3 mana. You played a card from your hand to the battlefield that had 0 impact. And while Teferi Time Raveler is very good, on turn 3, it's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world unless you're bouncing something stupid.
Well, if you're going to bounce them on turn 3, you better really be focusing on what you're doing there.
Actually, that's what makes him such a good tempo card. And when I was playing Esper Hero earlier, and I was on the draw, or no, I was on the play, and my opponent went turn 2 Hero of Precinct 1. And I went, cool, I went turn 3 Teferi, bounce your hero. And on the next turn, they just said, okay, play a tapped land, play hero again, came back to me, and I just untapped Moment of Craving their hero, and then cast the Thought Erasure, took their next play for the next turn, and they just conceded. That was like, they were just done.
Oh,
I had a Teferi on the board. Their next 2 turns were just crap. And they were like, screw this, I'm not playing the game.
well, and the thing about it is, I mean, when you're looking, especially at playing arena, I mean, some of the players you play against.
Best of 1. Sorry.
You
I know I'm a bastard, but I love best of 1.
I was playing, the Deathly Bow that used Deathly Bow. Best round with that.
The Ooze
Tennessee
deck?
Dryad with Ooze.
Oh, yeah, I love that. I love Biogenic Ooze. So oozy.
So I was playing against Mono Red.
That's probably a bad matchup for you?
It should have been, especially because I drew. Council was the only counter I drew for the first 8 turns. I drew all my blinks. I was blinking and drawing, looking for anything. Mana was there. I just didn't have. I didn't have the second green source,
Okay.
so I had a lot of blue. So I ended up dropping Tennessee Dryad and create my tokens, get my saplings, and then starting to bounce on the board a little bit. And he keeps dropping the 5/4 with trample and haste on me. Oh god, my mind just went blank down. Then cost 5 comes in, it's 5/4 trample haste. Dinosaur.
Trudging Monstrosaur?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
I think it's a 5/5.
Maybe 5/5.
It's one
No,
red
it's a-
4 generic.
Maybe it's 4/5. Yeah, no, toughness is 5 for sure. But anyways, so the guys keep spinning
Oh,
down.
you're talking about the Ravager worm.
No, it's not a worm.
Oh, no.
That's right. I'm bouncing this thing, trying to do something to this thing, right? Until I finally get my enough tokens on the field.
Yeah.
Then I've got, and I finally got my Wilderness Reclamation on the board.
Okay.
So now I'm untapping and I can do something. Still no counters in my hand. So I finally got one. I bounced this thing twice, and he goes and plays it a 3rd time. At this point in time, I've got, I've got Dryad on the field. I've got 4 tokens on the field. All my tokens are 3/3s, and he plays this shit again. Well, no, I'm bar bounce this time. I sacrifice, 1 token and pair it up with my token and double block it.
Yeah, no, you're going to
Kill
lose the token, he's going to lose the dude.
Right, and at that point in time, and the turn before, he had dropped out 2 goblins, and I bounced his board, which would have been a better play the second time around, because then I wouldn't have been able to do as much. I mean, it would have put me a little bit further behind. But at that point in time, he doesn't have a board state. He's completely done. Passes back to me. I draw my ooze. I start dropping stuff out. Mana goes crazy.
Yeah.
Swing and win. Red deck wins did not win that game. It was fun. But he could have played it differently and done significantly more damage to put me on the burn. I mean, I was down to 1 life. He beat me down to 1 life when I was able to stabilize.
I have lately won a lot of 1 life games against Mono Red.
Mono Red, I don't feel with the new set, the way people are playing it, and I've been playing a lot this weekend, long weekend, time off.
Yeah.
I just don't feel it's as strong as it's been in the past. I mean, Mono Red normally, is a very strong teach deck, and especially the first couple.
Last season's Mono Red with Hazaret and Glory Blinger, that was a hell of a Mono Red deck.
Yes, it was. It was tough place.
That was a hell of a Mono Red deck. It was actually first place for a long time. This season's Mono Red is a little faster than that deck. It can kill you pretty quick, but it's got. I don't like all the 1-drops. Like, I don't mind D2 Lava Runner, but I'm not a huge fan of Fanatical Firebrand. A 1-mana 1/1 that you can sack and ping something for a point of damage. I don't know. Firebrand just bugs me. I wish there was a better 1-drop for that. For that deck to be a little better.
Would have been better if they'd been a shock.
Yeah, then we would have had too many shocks in the format.
Nah, there's no too many shocks.
There's too many shocks in the format now. But that's coming from the Esper player. Because what I'm playing right now is my own version of. You see everybody running around with these Super Friends decks now. I don't know if you've been watching lately, but
I've seen them. But
Jeskai Super Friends, Esper Super Friends. I don't know. I've got on Arena. I've got all the flavors of Super Friends, but the one I'm most in love with is my version of Esper Super Friends, which is a tad different than what the norm is. I'm going against the grain.
as usual.
I have some Enter the God Eternals in that deck, which I don't know if you've played against that card yet.
I have not yet.
Okay, so it's a 5-mana sorcery, 2 generic, 2 blue, and a black.
Okay.
So it's Dimir colors. It deals 4 damage to a creature. You gain 4 life. They mill the top 4 cards of their library, or you mill the top 4 cards of yours, and then you get a 4/4 zombie army token.
Ooh, I really like this card.
So for 5 mana, you get a lot of 4s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 damage, 4 life, 4 cards, 4 creature.
It's hot.
Against mono red, it's devastating. I mean, absolutely devastating against mono red. They don't know where the crap will go blind.
Most of the time, it's go blind with rage.
It's that 4/4 blanks anything in their deck because their biggest creature is Chainwhirler, and he's a 3/3, and it blanks everything in that deck.
It's probably
So my favorite thing to do against mono red is to hold them off until I can Kaya's Wrath on 4, and then they play a Chainwhirler, and then I play Enter the God Eternals on 5, and then they concede. Because they're just
why.
like, no, I'm not dealing with this headache.
So, all right. So on a lighter note, since we're laughing at things, I do want to call out one new card that just came out, Goat Nap. For those of you,
man, we said we weren't going to do this because it.
No, you said you weren't going to do it. I said we wouldn't elaborate on the story.
I said we shouldn't do it.
All the old realm people.
All you old school realm of possibilities.
We all know the goat story.
You know the goat.
Yes. So I want this card autographed for that individual. I want a goat nap.
Made a goat napper.
Yes. Another one. Another autograph from you, sir. You owe me an autograph.
Goat napper.
Speaking on getting back to some D&D stuff, it's one point I wanted to bring up and I forgot to bring it up earlier, and I do apologize. And that is...
We're all over the place here, people.
It's normal for us.
Fast and Furious.
We warned you. Ghost of Saltmarsh. It is a new game coming out. It's been play tested a couple times, from my understanding, after reading some of the reviews on it. I'm kind of somewhat excited to play this, especially after our last little game playing Pirates. It is going to be a module about ship warfare.
I'm in. I actually enjoyed that whole part of your campaign. That was like some of the most fun I've had in a long time.
That's good, because I've always wanted to
pirate warlock.
Well, and we tested the waters. I mean, I tried to do this once when I was like 15, run a campaign where we were on a boat. It was horrible.
That was a long time ago.
It was horrible. horrible, horrible. So I said I was going to try it again because I had, all the years of experience. Hopefully they can make up for me, and they did really well. I mean, my players did well. They got together. They did some good stuff with it. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to actually trying this campaign. I think it will be something fun to add it to our storyline. I've already started the storyline, by the way.
Okay, cool. I'm down.
But having a whole module on ship warfare, I think it's
That sounds pretty cool. Instead of us just kind of guessing out.
Yeah, well, I had to kind of do that. How many hit points does a ship hold? How long till it goes down? Set the mass on fire. How does that affect the thing? Cannons.
It makes it go really slow. We figured that out.
Yeah. Kind of have to play things out. What can I say?
It works.
But I'm definitely a lot of the reviews that come out. They've been pretty positive about it. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. It should be out shortly, from my understanding. So that's something. But speaking of new things coming out, I'm going to kind of take off the topic here a little bit.
No, go ahead.
Codex is coming out for Chaos Knights.
Oh, Warhammer.
Yeah, see, I'm excited about this. Now, I have Imperial Knights. Yeah. Imperial Knights, I think, are really cool. They were hugely impactful in 7th edition. They were very, very impactful. Not so much in 8th. But I'm excited because these models, I'm telling you, they're hot. I mean,
He has shown me pictures.
We have a Rampager, the Spoiler, Dominus. There's just Knights coming out.
When is this coming out?
They don't have official release date because nobody gives official release dates to Games Workshop until the week before it comes out. Games Workshop has always been that way. They'll tell you it's coming out.
Games Workshop has always been a few ways.
Yeah, they don't confirm anything until like a week before it comes out. Everything else is kind of, if you're one of those lucky
Not
people
Wizards.
who gets
We'll
to play.
leak shit for a month.
Yeah, Games Workshop, take some hints. Leak it out. Give us some hardcore dates so we can get some stuff done. But it's definitely, I'm excited. I look at the models. I mean, I always like to convert my models. I play Chaos, so usually I don't have to buy a Pearl Knight kit and go find all my chains and kind of make it look cool. These Knights look really impressive. I'm looking forward to the rules. None of the leaks I've seen have had any significant rules. But I did see notification that Imperial Knights are going to get a huge FAQ update, which is really, really huge because they're going to make them much more efficient. You guys are going to get some more data cards. We're going to have a bunch of new rules for them, which is great because I'm telling you, in 8th edition, they're horrible. They're not worth putting on the field unless you're facing against somebody who you know with bringing mechs. They're just not worth it. But they were so much fun in 7th edition because they're super heavy. You had to worry about them. They weren't overpowered, but you had to make sure your spacing was right because if one went over, you might lose them all, which was a little bit of a challenge. I'm excited from a modeling standpoint. I'm excited to kit bash these things and come up with some cool stuff. I made my first Knight, my Nurgle Knight. It took me a long time, a lot of green stuff, hours to paint that thing, and I'm still not finished with it.
I don't play the game, but I watched him paint a lot.
Yeah.
I told him then, no. Don't ask me, because I'm not. No, it ain't Fat Boy Hands, it's patience. I ain't got that much patience.
Well, I enjoy that. But, I wanted to call that out because, it coming out, it's a huge thing for the game. We're now seeing a lot of balancing with Chaos, which was missing a lot of previous editions. Storyline has been ramping up. People have been talking about the fact that they're advancing through the Terra points in the storyline, which is really, really great because that's been the Horus Heresy not being completed outside the codexes has been a long time coming. Black Librarians could get stories out a little bit faster, please. Some of us have been years in envy of this. I'm really excited to see them coming forward right now. We're reaching that pinnacle point, and I want to see where we go. I want to see what Abby does. I want to see what we're going to get with all these new Primarchs coming out. Who's going to be next Loyalist Primarch? I'm excited to hear this. I've been following this for quite a while now. Super excited. Maybe we'll get Lionel Johnson back. Who knows? Doran. Doran's hanging out there someplace. We know he's still around.
The Siege Tower? Sorry, Magic reference. That's all I got, bro. I have it's Warhammer. I don't know lore. I don't know models. I don't.
I'm gonna
What's
get him
this
in the lore.
clue do? Can I eat it?
So we want to get him watching the lore, and he'll get into the storyline because there's a lot
Probably.
of
I could.
storyline.
I'll follow a good storyline. I will not paint a good model.
No, I like kit bashing. I like painting. I like doing that type of stuff. For me, that's.
I
the
like
highlight.
deck building.
That's why we do when he builds the decks. I play him.
I got 50 decks on Arena. I absolutely love it. I don't have 50, but I have however many it lets you hold. That's how many I have. And like when I go to make a new one, I got to delete one.
I just got my first pass score with the Spark tonight, so you know when I say, I'm just pushing today.
Do you have any new card styles yet?
No, I got my first card tonight and Sarkon tonight though.
Tarkon the Masterless.
Yes.
Ooh, the Jeskai Super Friends deck, dude, is hot. It
We'll start
just
it.
won the latest Star City Game Standard Open.
Oh, did it?
Jeskai Super Friends. That deck is like it's that and the new Narset. Which, since we're talking about Modern Horizons, Modern in general, I'm not the world's biggest fan of. I'll be the first to admit it. I don't necessarily like playing Modern. I have played Modern. I just don't like playing Modern a whole lot.
Agreed.
But I do think, for one, Modern Horizons is adding enough new blood in it that I would want to play Modern. If it was on Arena, I would most definitely play it. I'm not going to pay to play it on Moto, though. For one, I don't like Moto that much, and for two, I just don't have the money to pay to play Modern right now. That's just how it is. So that's part of my hatred for it, to be honest with you.
Be honest.
Everybody has a reason, and that's mine.
Well, everything I hate about Moto is it's really a lot of players are really, how can I say it, non-courteous.
Oh, dude, the Oppo is a jackass. Your opponent is a jackass, 9 times out of 10. Unless it's a pro, and even some of them are jackasses. But for the most part, most of the pros I run into, especially on Arena, they're all pretty cool. But the cool thing about Arena, you can't talk smack.
No.
You can say hello, nice, or your go.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is good.
You know, I'm the guy who, when I've got you dead to rights, will spam you good game when you don't figure out that it's not been a good game. Yeah, it's like, okay, come on, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. Just get through the process.
Oh, dude, I played a guy doing that to me the other day, and I had all the counters and the wipes in my hand. I'm playing blue. I am playing blue, and he keeps spamming me a good game, and he's playing mono black. So I bounced his board, swung out, and beat his ass.
I had a guy do that to me the other day. He was playing Gruul. It was actually last night in Colorado.
Okay.
I was playing at the hotel, and he was playing Gruul, and he kept going good game. He got down like a Gruul Spellbreaker, and he had a Zertog Goblin, and he had a Domri. And so he's like, he keeps telling me good game. So finally, I played a Teferi. No, I played an Ashiok. So I played the Ashiok. She's in my Super Friends deck. So I played an Ashiok, and then I played Oath of Kaya, and killed his Gruul Spellbreaker, and then Elder Spelled his Domri, and then milled everything with his Ashiok, because I'd already bounced 2 Phoenixes, and they were on top of his library. 2 Rekindling Phoenix. So I milled them out and then exiled them. And that left him with a Zertog Goblin against my, 5 loyalty or 6 loyalty Ashiok. He quit. He's like, good game, good game. I was like, yeah, nothing. And then I played all that, and he did nothing. I just said, good game.
He conceded.
Yeah, he just gave up. So, what else we got going? Sorry, my train of thought just left the station.
I think that's what we want to cover for this week. I mean,
Okay, yeah,
it's
no.
a holiday weekend. We've kind of
I'm
been out and
tired,
about.
man. I have been driving for the last 2 days, and I am tired.
I got 3 days off, first time in a while. It was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's
my
like a
kid.
small miracle for you.
Yeah, I smelled my cake. It was great. My daughter came down to see me. I enjoyed that.
Well, you get to see her tomorrow, don't you?
Very proud of my little one.
Yep. So we're moving D&D to Wednesday,
Yes.
and we will talk about it sometime this weekend. Hopefully, I don't know when this weekend.
We'll figure that out. We never figure things out ahead of time anyways.
Any of you who know me will understand this next statement. My ex is coming to stay with me for a week. this weekend.
God. You
She's coming to see her kid, which is cool because I have her kid. But she's staying for like a week because her and my current wife are friends. Get a week with my ex-wife, her husband, and their 2 kids, all under one roof.
Maybe next week's D&D game is at my house.
No, because they're not coming till Saturday. So we can have D&D on Wednesday. And then we need to shoot for this probably Friday.
Yeah, but I mean next week's D&D game if they're staying
The
for a week.
following D&D. Yes.
Because I think you need to escape.
You see this? This means I can't do a whole lot because I'm attached to a giant anchor over there. I will come help you renovate your house.
Yeah, my house is in renovation. Been doing a lot of work,
Because I don't.
Yeah, ex-wife. No, I understand now. Granted, my ex-wife.
He knows her.
She's a pleasure. My ex-wife is great. Great mother. Easy along with. I know
My
her
ex-wife
best.
and I get along well. We share a kid, so we get along pretty well. We share a great kid. But she's a special kind of human.
She's a hatchet.
Hey man, at least she's not doing the fur burger.
Yeah, no.
Not many of you will get that. That's okay. That's okay.
It's kind of like a
Till
ghost
next
story.
week. It is a not for YouTube story.
Yes.
If you know us, ask us. We'll tell you.
Mhm.
But for this week, we are good. We are done. We love you. We appreciate everyone's support.
Yes, thank you
Which-
so much.
We really, all 13, 14 subscribers, thank you. Everyone who viewed the video, thank you. Everyone who liked the video, thank you. Everyone who commented, shut up.
I haven't seen the comments, so I don't know what it's talking about, but I hopefully you guys can come out.
Actually, it's one is from the D&D party, Chris.
Oh my god.
He didn't say anything bad.
Oh, that's good.
And the other one was from a random someone I don't even know. But no. I think I know who it was, and I'll tell you off camera. So anyway, thank you, folks. Love you. Come back and see us again next week, and
Again,
keep gaming.
Yes. Party
Game
on.
hard, game long, game all day.